Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good afternoon, everyone. So last week we just finished Chaita, right? Consciousness. So we will go to next chapter, Cetasika. So let's look at four ultimate truths, four ultimate realities. We call in Pali paramatta saññā, right? Paramatta saññā. Number one, Chaita, consciousness. Number two, Cetasika, mental factors or mental functions. Number three, Rupa, material phenomena, and Nibbana. So other than these four, the rest are not ultimate realities. The rest are not ultimate realities. So they are just the normal conventional truth, right? Because we agree to call them. So now we just finished Chaita, consciousness, right? So and then you already know we have two types of truth: conventional truth and ultimate truth. So we are meditating to see the ultimate realities, right? So if you have a very strong concentrations, you will see consciousness, mental factor, material phenomena, and Nibbana. Other than that, all these are conventional truth, right? So because of conventional truth, we have a lot of wrong perception, right? Wrong perception. So today we will learn Cetasika, mental factor or mental functions. So Cetasikas are mental factors that influence the Chaita. Because of, so we can compare Chaita as the water. So the water has no color. So Cetasikas are compared as the colors. So that determine the color of the water, right? So mental factors are very important. So they determine the color of consciousness, whether they were good or bad, right? So therefore Cetasikas are mental factor. Here, Cetasika, Ceta, Ika. Ceta means consciousness. Ika means factor that determine Chaita. So Cetasika, right? So Chaita is like a water, and Cetasikas are like a different color. So if you put white color, the water become white. If you put red color, the water become red color, right? So the colors determine the water. So we have two examples. One is anger, dosa, and loving kindness. These two are Cetasikas. So if you have anger, so the anger makes our mind hot, right? And loving kindness, our mind makes our mind cool. So actually, anger and loving kindness determines the state of mind, right? whether it is hot or cool. So these anger and loving kindness, metta, differentiate the outcome of citta, the color of the mind. So therefore, Cetasikas are very important. So if you understand Cetasikas, you understand, right, your mind. So I think that understanding 52 Cetasika is very important because they determine our mind. We have a 52 type of Cetasikas. So in the cognitive process in Sutta Pitaka, depending on the I and forms, I consciousness arises. Here, consciousness is citta, right? Consciousness is citta. It's very difficult to understand what is consciousness, very subtle, right? So therefore, in the five aggregate, the consciousness is stated as the last one. Because the first one is the material form, right? Matter. It's very obvious to know. We can see, we can hear, right? Material phenomena. Then second one is feeling. Feeling also very obvious, clear to understand, right? And third one is perception. This one also clearer. And fourth one is mental volition or mental activities, right? But consciousness is not easy to understand. So therefore, so subtle that the Buddha stated vijnana or consciousness as the fifth among the five aggregate. The I and forms are material form, right? Material matter, material phenomena. The I consciousness arises. The medium of these three is called contact. Here, contact is Cetasika, one of the Cetasika. With the contact as a condition, there is feeling. Feeling also another mental factor. With the feeling as condition, there is craving. Craving also one of the mental factor, right? So actually, even though there are so many mental factors in Sutta Pitaka, so Abhidhamma summarize 52, right? Actually, when we learn in Sutta Pitaka, we have a lot of more than 100, 200 mental factors, right? But of course, if we learn all the mental factors from Sutta Pitaka, very difficult. So therefore, Abhidhamma summarize into 52, right? So actually, in Theravada Abhidhamma, we have 52. And other Abhidhamma from Mahayana, Savarivada, they have different numbers. Some 50, some 47, like this, right? But actually, it doesn't matter how they it depends how they calculate, right? If we calculate, if we combine all the mental factors or mental functions from Sutta Pitaka, more than 200, more than 300, like this, right? So what we have to understand is even here, right? Contact, feeling, craving. Craving is not stated as a mental factor in Abhidhamma, right? It is included in lobha or greed, right? So anyway, it is a mental factor, one of the mental factor. So this is a cognitive process in Sutta Pitaka. So what I want to point out here is here you see some forms with your own eye. The eye consciousness arises. At that moment, there is no lobha. At that moment, there is no dodha, right? The moment you see someone, the moment you hear certain type of song, there's no lobha, no dosa, right? Therefore, we call it ahetuka, rootless, right? So unconsciousness is rootless. But here, between all three is contact. We have a contact noun. So it can be either good or bad, contact. Now, it is not. It no longer became. How to say? The contact can be either rootless or with the root, right? Rootless or with the root. The reason is after in the cognitive mental process, the unconsciousness, the receiving consciousness, determining consciousness. So up to determining consciousness, there is no lobha or dosa, right? There is no lobha and dosa. But after determining, you have good or bad. So therefore, I think that contact can be either rootless, ahetuka or hetuka, right? Then after contact, feeling arises. After feeling, craving arises. So these are a simple cognitive process in Sutta Pitaka, right? Chachaka Sutta. So here, characteristics of Cetasika. So if there is no awareness, no consciousness of the object, there is no contact with the object. If there is no contact, there is no feeling. If there is no feeling, no craving, right? No craving. So therefore, sometimes, even though we see somebody, our attention is the other side. Even though we have an eye, there's something to see, we don't have contact. We don't have contact, right? Because we have our attention on the other side. Or we are listening something, right? Even though somebody is approaching in front of your eye, no contact. No contact with the object. So therefore, no feeling, no craving. So all these contact, feeling, perception are Cetasika, including the craving, right? All these are Cetasika. So even though Ceta is forerunner or leader of mental phenomena, so both Ceta and Cetasika arise together. So as you know, in Dhammapada it says that Mano Bopengama Dhamma, mind is forerunner of everything. Even though stated like this, actually Ceta and Cetasika arise together. And second one, cease together. They will arise together, they cease together. That means they take place together, right? No different. So here, why we have a six together? Second characteristics excludes material phenomena produced by mind and karma. In Bali we call it Cetasa Rupa and Kamacca Rupa. Cetasa Rupa means the material phenomena produced by the mind, caused by the mind. And Kamacca Rupa, some material phenomena caused by the karma, our action. So exclude. So if we talk about the first characteristics arise together, it can be actually sometime, especially the material phenomena produced by mind and karma. So they arise together with the mind, right? If we just take one characteristics, it's not complete. It including material phenomena as well, right? But by talking about second characteristic, six together, so as you know, then generally the lifespan of the material phenomena is 70 times longer than the mind, right? 70 times longer than the mind. So now they might arise together. The mind and material phenomena arise together. But the mind ceases. But the material phenomena stay functioning. Their lifespan is 70 times longer than the mind, right? So therefore, if we just take one characteristic right together, it can be taken the mind as well as material phenomena. But by talking second characteristics, six together, so we exclude material phenomena produced by the mind and karma. So the reason is, even though the mind stops functioning, but material phenomena produced by mind and karma stay functioning, right? So they are not dying yet, they are not ceased yet, stay functioning. So therefore, second characteristic exclude material phenomena produced by the mind and karma. Okay. Oh, okay. Suppose we see somebody, right? With our own, we see somebody, then eye consciousness arises, right? Eye consciousness arises. So after eye consciousness arises, actually we see somebody, it is material phenomena caused by the karma. Karma means action. Because we, by seeing somebody, certain action, right? It is a material phenomena caused by the karma. But that karma, the moment eye consciousness sees the material phenomena produced by the karma stay functioning, then receiving consciousness, the material phenomena stay functioning. Then after that, determining consciousness. Then javana, right? 7 javana. Then after that, then 2 registration mind, 2 registration, dharamana, right? Dharamana. Then after that, bhavanga. So only bhavanga sees. So these material phenomena cease together. Actually, when we learn the 4th chapter, you will understand very clearly, right? So therefore, even though eye consciousness ceases to function, the material phenomena arises together with eye consciousness, stay functioning, stay alive, right? Stay alive. So therefore, by talking about second characteristics, we exclude material phenomena caused by the mind and caused by the karma, right? Sometimes the anger arises in our eye, in our mind. Anger is mental factor, right? Mental factor. Then also material phenomena arises together with anger, also arises, they arises together. So even though anger ceased, so material phenomena caused by the anger stay existing in our body. Red eye, red face, right? Angry face like this, right? So all these are material phenomena still functioning. But the mind ceases, right? So therefore, material phenomena are 70 times longer than longer lifespan than mental factor, right? Then take the same object. Take the same object. So by these characteristics, so 2 material phenomena is excluded: bodily animation and vocal animation. So as you know, the bodily animation means kaya viññāti, and vocal animation means vaci viññāti. So when we have a mental factor to react with your body, that makes you react your body, right? My hand is waving because of the mind. I have a voice, right? Vocal animation because of my, the mind arises for the first time. So as soon as I have the state of mind that I want to talk something, right? then also the material phenomena also arises. But the lifespan is similar to the lifespan of mental factor or the mind. So these two mental factor, these two material phenomena are the same lifespan of the mind, the consciousness and mental factor, right? They have the same lifespan. So therefore, their lifespan is very short, just like a consciousness and mental factor, right? So actually, if we talk about they arise together and cease together, so that means these two mental phenomena also arises together with the mind. Also, they cease together with the mind because they have the same lifespan, right? The same lifespan. So therefore, we have to talk the third characteristics. Take the same object. Only consciousness and mental factor can take the object. Material phenomena cannot, right? So actually, when we see somebody, because of our mind, consciousness and mental factor, right? The mind eye cannot take, right? Cannot take it. So it is just a condition, right? To take it. So here, take the same object. Here the consciousness, then I have eye, there's something to see, right? The object, something to see. The medium of the three is contact, right? Contact. So when that contact is mental factor, so that contact is the same base here, the eye, right? So therefore, in Chacaka Sutta, we said that eye, the contact associated with the eye, right? Associated with the eye. So we have a 89 type of contact. The reason is we have a 89 type of Cheta, right? So therefore, when we see something, then contact arises. So that contact, that particular contact has the unconsciousness. The contact and unconsciousness has the same base, or the eye, right? The later part, they will take the sound, right? Then sound consciousness, ear consciousness arises, right? Then after that, contact. So that contact is different from another contact caused by the unconsciousness. You got the meaning? Very complicated, huh? They take the same object. Me, suppose I have eye, right? Eye, then something to see. The unconsciousness arises. So unconsciousness is Cheta, right? Cheta. The medium of these three is called contact. Contact is mental factor. So that contact is the same base of the eye. Just like the consciousness also take the eye base, right? Then contact also take the same base, So therefore, they take the same object. Here, object means not the base. It's a object means something to see, right? Something to see. The same object, or something to hear, the sound, right? The sound, something to smell, and taste, and touch, and think, right? So they take the same object. So what I want to say is these two material phenomena cannot take the object, right? They do not know the object. Only consciousness and mental factor know the object. So these bodily intimation and vocal intimation are just material phenomena. They do not take any objects, right? They do not know somebody. They do not know the sound. So the knowing, the function of knowing, caused because of consciousness and mental factor, right? So therefore we normally use consciousness and mental factor as a nama. Nama. You know, nama rupa. We normally say mind and matter. Nama rupa, mind and matter. Here, nama means something that inclined to. That inclined to, right? That inclined to. So when we see something, our mind. So here, if I say the mind, that means both consciousness and mental factor, right? If I see something, the mind inclined to that. Then I hear some song, then my mind inclined to that, right? So that is called nama, right? Nama. But material phenomena don't have that characteristics, cannot incline to the object, right? So only mind, consciousness and mental factor can incline. So therefore, they take the same object by talking this characteristic. That means we exclude any type of material phenomena, right? Any type of material phenomena. If we say only two characteristics, so that means Cetasika might be including these two, right? So by talking the third one, so we understand that. So we have to exclude two material phenomena: bodily animation and vocal animation, right? And fourth one have the same base. We have 6 bases, right? Eye, ear, etc. So here, if by talking the less characteristics, we have to understand that if something have the first 3 characteristics, and they also have the last one, right? So it makes sure that. So here, Cetasika, the characteristics of Cetasika is similar to consciousness. The Cetasika is not similar to material phenomena, right? So these are 4 characteristics. The last consciousness indicate that if something have the first 3 that I left, the first 3 characteristics, and they also have the same basis, right? The same basis. So that is the 4 characteristics of Cetasika. And I think by looking at this one, don't you think that the consciousness, Ceta, and mental factor, Cetasika are the same? No different? What do you think? They arise together, they cease together, and they take the same object. They also have the same basis. No different. Actually, when you learn the Sutta, you will understand that the consciousness and mental factors are no different. Look at Mahasatipatthana Sutta. So in Mahasatipatthana Sutta, we have a Citta-nupassana, right? Contemplation of the mind. So here the Buddha used the word mind, but under we have a 16, right? 60 list. Among them, Lobha, Dosa, Moha, right? Like this. Alobha, Adosa, Moha. So you will see then. So actually in Abhidhamma Sangha, we have a 52, right? So these are not Ceta. So we have to understand that. So both consciousness and mental factors are no different. They are the same. If we look at the 4 characteristics, right? No different. Nothing different. But to understand, to have a better understanding, so we have to divide it, right? Different category. Okay. Perception. we have a perception, one of the mental factor. We will learn later. But of course, perception, we have a different category, like a 5 aggregate, right? And 5 aggregate, we have perception, right? But when the Buddha talk about satipatthana, no perception is mentioned, right? Just mention feeling, citta, dhamma, and material phenomena, right? So therefore, a different category, different usage, right? We have to understand different usage. So we have 52 mental factors. So according to their characteristics, they are classified into 3 broad categories. Number 1, comment to other, iññā samana cetasika. So we have a 30 iññā samana cetasika, comment to the others. Would you like to remember in English or in Pali? Second question. I think it's better to remember in Pali as well as in English, right? At least you must understand in English. If you know in Pali, it's good. Sometimes because we have a different translation, Bhikkhu Bodhi translate iññā samana as the ethically variable, the different, right? But here I use the comment to the others, the literal translation. Comment to the others with a 30, and we have a 2 unwholesome 14 unwholesome factors, and we have a 25 beautiful factors. So I think by looking at this one, you can understand that number 2 is unwholesome one, number 3 is wholesome one, right? And number 1 will be either unwholesome or wholesome. It can be both, right? It's quite clear. Now with a 30 comment to other. So iññā samana cetasikas are comment to the other. The other means cetas. Now we are talking about mental factor cetasika, right? So actually, if the iññā samana cetasikas are comment to other, similar to citta. If the counterpart citta is good, the cetasika that associate with that counterpart citta also good. If citta is bad, cetasika also bad, right? Suppose you have unwholesome citta, but in cetasika also unwholesome one. If we have a beautiful sense sphere consciousness, this side, cetasika side also good, right? So therefore, we call it comment to the others. So these cetasikas are similar to the other cettas, right? So when we learn about the association between citta and cetasika, you will understand. So actually, unwholesome cetasika associated with unwholesome citta, right? So therefore, it is called comment to the others. It means that they are associated with both good and bad cettas. So these iññā samana cetasika associated with the both good and bad. Among them we have a feeling, right? Feeling is one of the comment to the other cetasika. Feeling will be good feeling and bad feeling, right? It's associated with the good and bad. So therefore it is called comment to the others. So Bhikkhu Bodhi use the ethically variable factors. Bhikkhu Bodhi, Narada Mahathera, and they also use the ethically variable factors, right? It can be ethic. According to the ethic, the citta, a good ethic, a bad ethic, right? According to that, it can be different. So this comment to the other is a literal translation. So they are subdivided into two groups. Number one, universes. So we have 7 universes. Sappaccheta, sararana. So they are command to all chetas. To all chetas. That means they are associated with all type of cheta. So here, command tararana. And to all cheta, sappaccheta, right? Sappaccheta, sararana. So they associate with all type of cheta. So it's 7 1. Another one is occasionals, pakkenaka. We have 6 occasionals. Their association with the cheta is miscellaneous, sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? They do not associate with some chetas. Some chetas. Suppose vitaka. Vitaka, right? Vitaka is a initial application or thought. So when we attain second jhana, no vitaka at all. Vitaka doesn't associate with second jhana consciousness, third jhana consciousness, and fourth and fifth jhana consciousness. So therefore, vitaka is called occasionals. Occasionally, they associate with particular type of chetas, right? So we have 2 types. Universals is associated with any type of chetas. We have 6 occasionals. So these 6 cetasika occasionally associate with particular type of chetas, right? And then when we learn those one, you will understand, right? Now we have 7 universes. Number 1, contact. And number 2, feeling, perception, volition, one-pointedness, and light faculty, and attention. So these 7 factors are called universes because they associate any type of consciousness, right? So when we have eye consciousness, we have a contact, we have a feeling, and we have a perception, volition, one-pointedness, light faculty, and attention, right? So when we have ear consciousness as well, so these 7 together with these 7 made a factor. And everything, any type of cheta, right? They associate with any type of cheta. So I think among them, I think nothing is familiar with you, except number 6, right? Light faculty. So light faculty is a little bit not familiar with you. So we will learn one by one. Number 1, contact, PHASSA. Contact here doesn't mean the physical contact, right? Contact here doesn't mean physical contact. It's rather the mental factor by which the consciousness mentally touches the object that has appeared and thereby initiating the entire cognitive process. Normally, when we talk about contact, so in our mind, we understand this is a physical contact. Not like this. Here, only mental contact, right? Mental one. So because of contact, we have the whole entire cognitive process. Depending on the eye form, eye consciousness arises. The medium of the 3 is contact. Actually, that we have learned this one very often, right? This is how our mind function. So here, in dependent originations, we have one line. Dependent on the 6 things basis, salayatana, and contact arises. So here, contact is nothing but mental factor, right? So because of 6 sense bases, we have a contact. So if we see something, eye consciousness, If we hear something, ear consciousness. If we smell something, nose consciousness. If we taste something, tongue consciousness. If we touch something, body consciousness. If we think something, mind consciousness. Right? Mind consciousness. Manodvara. Right? Like this. So, depending on, because of six species, we have a contact. So this is mentioned in dependent origination. So one of the famous meditation masters in Myanmar said that if you know contact, and you understand everything. If you know contact, you understand Four Noble Truths. You understand dependent originations. And you understand 37 factors of enlightenment. And you understand the whole Tipitaka. The whole Tipitaka. If you know contact. But this is a knowing contact means you are mindful. Right? You're mindful. So actually we are meditating to develop mindfulness, right? You're mindful means you know the contact, right? So therefore it's very important. Contact is conditioned by both 6 internal sense species and 6 external sense species. I think no need to explain, right? Here, internal means eye, etc. External means something to see, right? Something to see, something to hear, right? So this is a simple cognitive process. Eye conscious, eye sensitivity, then visible form object, and eye consciousness. So eye consciousness is a chaita, right? The medium of these three is called contact. So here contact is a matter factor. Because of contact, we're feeling. Because of feeling, perception. Because of perception, mental activities. We call it mental volition, right? Mental formation. Normally we translate as a mental formation. Actually, mental formation is a literal translation, right? Literal translation. But unlike the translation of mental activities, then we will contact, feeling, perception. Then our mind start to act, right? Or something, function something. So our mind start to act. So there's a mental activities. Actually, here, eye conscious, eye sensitivity and form are material phenomena. Rupa khanda, right? Rupa khanda. Now we have a feeling, vedana khanda, perception, saññā khanda, and mental activities or mental formation, sankhara khanda, the nine consciousness, vijnana khanda, 5 aggregate, right? 5 aggregate. So this is simple way of understanding our cognitive process. So because of contact, we have a feeling. So here, contact is a mental one, not a physical one. So therefore, if you see, the lady is eating lemon, right? How you feel? Saliva arises normally. Because you're not touching the lip, you're not touching the lemon, right? But here, touch in your mind. The saliva came out from your mouth. This is the nature of contact, right? Just mental one. Sometime in the channel, video channel, you will see the lion is running after the rabbit, right? So almost catch the rabbit. But here, by seeing that one, you have your heart is very a lot of compassion toward the rabbit, right? Touch, right? Contact here because of contact. So therefore, even though we are not touching the lemon, so we have contact in our mind, right? Contact. So that is the nature of contact. Then, dependent on contact, feeling arises. There's a dependent origination. Because of feeling, craving arises, right? Actually, craving is nothing but saññā. The mind starts to function. Because of contact, we have feeling, right? Feeling. Then after feeling, of course, perception. After perception, the mind starts to function. You crave for it, right? If you like it, you take it. If you don't like it, you reject it, right? That is the function of the mind. It's called saññā, right? Depending on the contact, feeling arises. That's dependent origination. Feeling experiences the object which it comes in contact with the senses. So therefore, feeling associated with all type of citta, right? All type of citta. With the arising of contact, simultaneously there arises feeling. It can never be stopped by any power or any force or being. Normally, when we talk about dependent origination, we learn about the non-existence of the cause. There's no cause, right? That can control our destiny, our action, our feeling. So actually, everything happens based on the causes, right? Now we see something, the contact arises, unconsciousness arises. Because of the three, contact. After contact, feeling. Because of feeling, based on feeling, we have a lot of mental activities, right? Craving, clinging, like this, right? So these are mental activities. So here, there's nothing that can stop that feeling, right? That can stop that feeling. Vedana is a feeling which experiences the object. It is purely mental one. Just like a contact, it's also purely mental one. It associates with all type of citta. Here, we are learning about mental factor feeling, right? So in Saccā Nikāya, we have a 5 type of feeling, right? Is that the same thing, 5 type of feeling. But with a different object. So I will learn later. It's purely mental one. It associates with all type of citta. So we have a 3 type of feeling. Actually, we have learned very often. Pleasant feeling, Sukha Vedana. So when we see a pleasant object, we experience a pleasant feeling. Generally speaking, right? Generally speaking. Even though sometimes we see a pleasant feeling, not pleasant feeling here. Generally talking, right? Generally talking. This is generally we're talking. If you see a pleasant one, a pleasant feeling here. Of course, sometimes, even we see an excellent object, we are not happy in our mind, right? So therefore, it's very, we're talking in general. Number 2, painful feeling, dukkha vedana. So when you see an unpleasant object, you experience a painful feeling, a neutral feeling. So when you see a neutral object, neither pleasant or unpleasant, so you experience a neutral feeling, right? Neutral feeling. So actually, in Sutta Pitaka, we use Ātokha Masukha Vedana. We do not use Upekha, right? So when we talk about 3 type of feeling, we use Ātokha Masukha Vedana. Neither pleasant or unpleasant feeling. But here I'm a little bit wrong, right? Not neutral feeling. Neither pleasant or unpleasant feeling. It's the same with the neutral feeling, right? The same as a neutral feeling. So we have a 3 type of feeling, and then understanding feeling is very important. Even last week we talked about, somebody asked me the importance of, what is it? Somebody asked me the question and I answer based on this one, right? So we have a 3 type of underlying tendency. Normally we have a 7 type of anusia, but here in Vedana Samyutta, the Buddha talk about 3 types. Number 1, the underlying tendency to lust, raganusia, in regard to pleasant feeling. If the object is a pleasant one, the lust likely to arise, right? If we see beautiful things, if we see beautiful songs, if we hear beautiful songs, so lust or attachment likely to arise. In Pali we call it anusia, the underlying tendency to lust. So therefore monks are how to say, the life of monks are designed not to see beautiful things, right? Because to prevent lust, so that for that reason you are staying at the meditation retreat, right? So if you stay in meditation retreat, your eye, your ear, everything is controlled, right? So therefore, if we see pleasant things, the lust is underlying. Number 2, the underlying tendency to aversion in regard to painful feeling. If we have a painful feeling, then how to say, the anger or aversion is underlying. So it's a very important one. Number 3, the underlying tendency to ignorance in regard to neither painful nor pleasant feeling. So here, the reason is the question last week is the feeling, right? Why important to learn about feeling? Of course, last week we need to know any type of feeling, whether pleasant feeling, painful feeling, or neither pleasant or painful feeling. So we have to know all type of feeling. The reason is, so when we experience pleasant feeling, make sure that you don't have a lust, right? When you have unpleasant feeling, make sure that you don't have aversion or dislike. But if neither neutral feeling is very important. It is the seat of ignorance, right? So if we have neutral feeling, ignorance likely to arise. So therefore, any type of feeling is very important. So therefore, in dependent originations, so dependent on feeling, craving arises, right? So if you really understand feeling, any type of feeling, so that means you're mindful, right? So if you're mindful, there's no place for craving. Therefore, we are practicing mindfulness. So when you are seeing something, be mindful, right? There will be contact. Then because of contact, there will be feeling, either pleasant or unpleasant feeling. Be mindful at the time, right? Just mindful, just know that is a pleasant feeling. That's all. If you're mindful, then after feeling, mindfulness arises. If you are not mindful, after feeling, craving arises. That is how we meditate, right? How we develop mindfulness. So if you can develop a lot of mindfulness, continue mindfulness, there is no craving at all, right? Not craving at all. So therefore, this is the link in dependent originations. Dependent on feeling, we have a craving. So if you're mindful, no craving at all, right? Distinctions between worldlings, worldling me, Buddhojana, right? And between worldlings and the noble ones, the noble one means Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant, right? These are the noble ones. We have 8 noble ones, right? So what is the distinction between Puthojana and Ariya Pogala? And the Buddha says in Vedana Sanyota, the same Sanyota. When the instructor, the Buddha used the instructor person. An instructor person, no knowledge, right? The uninstructed person is being contacted by a painful feeling. He feels 2 feelings: a bodily feeling, a mental feeling. 2 types of feeling: mental feeling, a mental painful feeling, bodily painful feeling. Here, feeling is here bodily feeling, right? Bodily feeling means it's not the feeling here, it's mental factor. Feeling is mental factor. So that mental factor caused by the body. Caused by the body, right? Caused by the body. So when normally, when we experience a painful feeling, we have bodily feeling and mental feeling, right? Mental feeling. When the instructed person, the noble one, is being contacted by that same painful feeling, he feels only one feeling. That is a bodily feeling, not a mental feeling. It's a difference between normal people and the noble ones, right? The difference. Normally, when you experience a painful feeling because of diseases or because of seeing something that you do not like, right? Normally we have 2 types of feeling: mental feeling and our mind. Bodily feeling, right? Especially when you have a serious diseases, right? Diseases, 2 feeling normally. But the noble one has only 1 feeling, bodily feeling. Of course, he will have when he have a serious diseases, he will have a bodily feeling. And the Buddhas, Arahants, they also have a bodily feeling, right? The Buddha is painful. The Buddha is painful. As you know, the Devadatta, he throw a very big stone, right, to kill the Buddha. But only a small portion of the stone split, right, and hit the Buddha toe, right, toe. Very painful, right? But he have only bodily feeling, no mental feeling. Regarding with this, the Buddha have any anger toward Devadatta, right? Anger is mental feeling, right? Mental pain. So there's a difference between the normal people and the noble ones. So if you are, even though you have a serious painful feeling, if you don't have a mental feeling, you are among the noble ones. We can even say like this, right? Not real noble one, but how to say the among them, I think. It's very important to take note this one. Because many people ask, why if the Buddha attained enlightenment, but he still suffer, right? He still suffer. But of course it's right. Suffering means just bodily suffering, not mental suffering, right? Not mental suffering. So in Indriya Sanyota, we have a 5 type of feeling. But in Citta, so we follow this category, 5 type of feeling, right? Feeling caused by the physical pleasure. So when we have physical pleasures, we have a very pleasant feeling. That is a Saccā. Feeling caused by the physical pleasure. Another one is feeling caused by the physical pain, the dukkha vedana. Number 3, pleasant feeling. So pleasant feeling is caused by the mind. So when we think about a past experience that you like, right? Unpleasant feeling. And number 4, unpleasant feeling. So when you think about unlucky experiences in the past, so you have unpleasant feeling, right? Then neutral feeling also rises in the mind. So we have a 5 type of feeling in terms of faculty, indriya, right? Normally in many suttas, the Buddha just talk about 3 type of feeling. But in Indriya Samyutta, we have 5 types, right? It can be enumerated up to 108. Because we have 5, we have a, how to say, 3 type of feeling, right? So we can enumerate the feeling in the past, the feeling right now, the feeling in the future. Then you can enumerate the feeling in your mind, the feeling the mind of other, like this, right? Another one is a we have a 6 sense species, right? Then we have to enumerate in this way. So when we have a 108, right? But in Vipanga, so Vipanga elaborate more different type of feeling, many type of feeling, even nearly I think 100,000 like this, nearly 100,000. Actually, if you understand only 3 type of feeling is more than enough, right? More than enough. The second one is perception, saññā, right? Perception. So here, contact and feeling, so they are universals. So that means they associate with any type of citta. Whether you are angry or you are happy, whether you have a beautiful mind or ugly mind, they will associate with, right? The third one is the perception, saññā. Saññā perceive the quality of the object. It makes marks or notes about the shapes, the mark of the object. So when that object appear again, so that perception recalls it again. So that means the characteristics of perception is taking note of the object, right? If it is tall, you perceive in your mind it's tall, right? If the person is fat, then you perceive fat, right? Perception, I think we can translate as a registration, right? You register something in your mind. Sometimes that perception is very, how to say, problematic, I would say, problematic. So I left my village at the age of 12 years old. Then I take note of everyone, everything in my village. That's my perception, right? So when I go back, even right now, my perception is difficult to change. If I perceive somebody, he is very good, then I take it as a good person. So later I learn that he or she is not that good. Change, right? Perception is very powerful, right? Sometimes, what happened in my village is the people who have a land, they are rich in they are rich in the village before. But 50 years ago, I think people who do not have any land, they go out and they do business outside. They became very rich. Like this, totally different. Now it's totally different. The landowner are poor. The one who were working for them in previous time, so rich in the village. But my perception is difficult to change. So actually in my mind, they are very poor in the past, right? They're working for the landowner. Later, the landowner had to borrow money from them. Perception, but my mind, stay register those experiences, right? So here, perception means you register something. So therefore, perception is very tricky. It's one of the Vipanasa means illusion, right? Illusion. So that cover your mind not to see the real nature of things, right? So therefore, when you register one person, it's very bad. It's very, very important to know. It's very important, right? Normally we register one person. It's very bad. For a long time, it's very bad in our mind. Very difficult to change. But even though that person is behaving in a bad way, better and better, very difficult to change, right? So we have to take note the importance of perception, right? Perception. So we have to understand whether a particular person or particular things, right? According to the situation right now, right? Right now. That is the characteristics of perception is take note or register the object according to their shape, according to their marks, right? If that object appear again, then perception records it again. So therefore, when we are reading the book, right? Reading the book, so we have a lot of perception, Sometimes we do not use our wisdom, just reading the book, no wisdom. But perception is walking. Taking note what we are reading, what we are seeing, right? Anything. So therefore, saññā or perception is different from paññā, wisdom. So the wisdom functions understanding all things in their true natures. Saññā functions just noting all the things. So saññā doesn't have any wisdom. Just take note, just register, right? So we have to use our wisdom to determine or to understand in their true nature, right? True nature. That is a false perception. As you know, the boy used to take the milk from mother, right? He still in that. He's taking milk. It's a illusion. We call it saññā perception, saññā vipanasa. Just example, we have a lot of illusion of perception, right? Illusion of perception. Because of that, we have a lot of problem, right? Problem. That's a perception. The function of perception, perceive something or register something in your mind. Another one is a volition, cetanā. I think it's very beautiful things to know about cetanā. Cetanā also among the universals, right? That means it associates with any type of feeling. So we have a good volition and bad volition, right? Cetanā motivates the associated mental factor to take action on the objects. In achieving its goal, cetanā is a leader. So therefore, in the five aggregate, we have a saññā, right? Saññā is translated as a mental formations. And actually, I prefer the word mental activities. Actually, the leader is cetanā. In the dependent origination, we have a vijja saṅkhāra, right? Because of ignorance, we have a volitional formation, right? Karma formation. in dependent origination as well, we have to take volition, this one. So therefore, volition or cetanā is a leader to do something, to take action on the object. Suppose you see something, so cetanā lead to do something you hate or something you left, something you reject or something you like, you take, right? So cetanā is a leader, take action on the object. So it is compared as a commander-in-chief at the battlefield. So whatever action done by the soldiers at the battlefield is his responsibility. So he order the soldiers to kill, right? To go ahead or to withdraw. Everything is his responsibility, right? So cetanā is compared as a commander-in-chief at the battlefield. So therefore, the Buddha said that cetanāham bhikkhave kammavadāmi. It is volition or cetanā, bhikkhus, that are called karma. Here, the Buddha equate karma with the cetanā, right? So sometimes you do something with a good intent, good volition, but the result is not good, right? The result is not good, but it's not a unwholesome karma, right? But regarding with the karma, of course, is so. Therefore, to talk about karma is a little bit complicated, right? Complicated. So even though you do with the good volition, the result is not good because of your ignorance, right? So therefore, ignorance is the key. Moha is the leader of unwholesome things, right? Moha, because of avijja. So therefore, in dependent origination, the first one is ignorance, right? Ignorance. So therefore, even though our volition, our motivation is good, sometimes the result may not be good because of ignorance, right? Ignorance is the opposite of wisdom. So whenever we do something, just volition is not enough. So you must have a wisdom, right? Wisdom or avijja, right? Avijja. Here the Buddha equate with karma, with the Buddha equate karma with the volition. Cetanāham bhikkhave kammavadāmi. These very famous lines, right? So whenever we talk about karma, we use these lines. Cetanā is very important. So therefore, in the first story of Dhammapara commentary, the story of Cakkapala Thera, right? So he became arahant and he came back to Savatthi. So on that day, at the night time, there was a heavy rain. So in the morning, early in the morning, there are a lot of insects flying around, right? In the morning, the flying drove in the on the ground. Actually, the Cakkapala Thera is blind, right? Blind. He couldn't see. So in the morning, as usual, he go walking meditation, right? Walking meditation. And he killed all the insects on his way. And many visiting monks saw this one. And they complained, this man is killing a lot of insects. He might accumulate a lot of unwholesome deed. Then they reported this incident to the Buddha. And the Buddha said that, Mano Popingamadhamma, if you do with a good mind, a good result will come to you. If you do with a good intention or good volition, right, you have a good result. So there is no unwholesome deed, right? He doesn't have any intention or any volition to kill insect, right? So cetanāham bhikkhave kammavadāmi, right? Any question? Any question? Then let's go to next one. One-pointedness, ekaggatā. Ekaggatā is the unification of the mind on the object. So you try to unify your mind on the object. It's called ekaggatā. So here, we don't use samadhi. Normally, samadhi is used as a good way, right? In a good way. But here, ekaggatā is a broader sense. The unification of the mind on the object. As you know, eka means one. Akka means the higher point. Akka means the higher point. In our temple, we have a higher point. In Singapore, the higher mountain, the higher part of the mountain, right? The peak, right? Peak. So like this, so when you do something, you unify your mind to be one, right? One. So therefore, one-pointedness of the mind is similar to samadhi, right? It is present in all type of consciousness, even the most rudimentary level. Even though your mind is thinking, you're thinking something, going here and there, your mind is going here and there. Even at the time, we have one-pointedness because ekaggatā associates with all type of consciousness, right? Even though your mind is going somewhere, even though your mind is restless, you still have this one, according to Abhidhamma, right? Abhidhamma. So therefore, it is compared as the water which unites the scattered powders. So we have a lot of scattered powder, and you pour the water, right? You make a ball of powder, like this. So you trying to unify your mind. Unify your mind. It associates with any type of consciousness. It is a crucial factor to attain meditative absorption or jhana. When you want to attain jhana, you must be very strong ekaggatā, right? So ekaggatā is one of the most important factors to attain jhana. Samadhi, the meaning of samadhi is a saññā. Actually, I have explained that. With a book here, you take it firmly and you tape it in your, like it, you take it, saññā. So you, so when you take it, the object firmly, right? Then it's very powerful. It's samadhi, right? Samadhi, taking the object very firmly. Samadhi. Actually, one-pointedness of the mind also associated with all type of consciousness, right? Next one, jīvitindriya, light faculty. Light faculty is very important one. Jīvitindriya or mental life faculty maintains the life of associated mental factors. As you know, when we experience something, feeling is very prominent, right? But here, life faculty, you never know. Only if you have very strong concentration, you will know it, right? So therefore, life faculty is very common, but it's very difficult to know. So it's associated with all type of mental factors. Without this mental life faculty, the mind cannot function at all. So we have two types of life faculties: the mental life faculty and physical life faculty, right? So if you don't have these two types, then you die. No longer you die, right? Like a consciousness, the other mental factors, it is also subject to arising and cessation. So it is important here with a jiva, right? Jiva means life. But in understanding in Hinduism, the jiva means something that exists forever. But in Buddhism, it's not like this. So even life faculties, it arises together with other mental factors, and it also ceases at the same time together with other mental factor. So that is different between the idea of life faculty, life in Buddhism and idea of other, especially Hinduism, they believe that jiva, they use normally they often use jiva. So jiva is life. So therefore, we do not use the word jiva very often to jiva. In one time, when the Buddha was preaching, the Buddha cough like this, cough. The monks who are listening, and they make a wish, bless you, like this, like a bless you. Jīvitindriya, Bhante, the word jiva, long life. And the Buddha preferred not to do that. No, don't do that. The Buddha do not like the word jiva, right? Because it's very dangerous for his teaching. So by using the word jiva, it might lead to other direction, right? Other understanding. So that means jiva means something that do not cease, right? That do not cease. So therefore, like other consciousness and other mental factors, so jīvitindriya, life faculty also arise together and cease together, right? So it is compared as a boatman who safeguard the people in his boat while crossing the river. At the same time, he protects his life as well. So as you know, the boatman trying to bring the people with his boat. So he makes sure that all the people in his boat are safe. By doing so, his life also safe. When other people die in the river, he also die. Like this, right? Like this. So life faculty arises together with other mental factor and cease together with other mental factor. Within this period, arising and cease with one, one moment, right? Present moment. At that moment, he trying to maintain the life of other mental factor as well, right? That is the meaning of jīvitindriya, life faculty. Any question? So therefore, it is important to know that in Buddhism, we don't have any anything that exists forever. Arises, cease. Arises, cease. Even jīvitindriya, right? Arise together with other mental factor, but the nature of cease, they will cease, right? Then another one is attention, right? Attention. Sorry, I didn't finish my note. Have to look at the book. Page number 81, right? Page number 81. Attention, manasikāra, right? Manasikāra. The Pali word literally means making in the mind. Manasi, in the mind. Kara, making or doing. Attention is very important. So on the flight, on the airplane, so you were here. Attention, please. Very important, right? If you don't have attention, no any type of mind. So therefore, attention also associated with any type of beings, any type of consciousness, right? Attention is the mental factor responsible for the mind's advertence to the object, by virtue of which the object is made present to the consciousness. So as you know, we have a determinant, right? Determinant. Oh, sorry. So we have a fight door adverting, right? A mind door adverting. Pancha dwara vajana and mano dwara vajana. We have two type of mind, right? Actually, it is similar to attention, right? Actually, we start to attend to one object. The Panchadwara Vajana, fight door adverting, right? Fight door switch. If so, that switch do not open, then we do not take. We cannot see or we cannot hear, right? So therefore, attention is similar to fight door advertings and mind door advertings, right? So therefore, it is responsible for mind's advertings to the object. Its characteristic is the contacting of the associated mental states toward the object. Contacting of the associated mental states toward the object. Its function is to yoke associated states to the object. It is manifested as a confrontation with an object. Its proximate cause is the object. Very complicated, right? You don't understand. Therefore, I think actually I think Bhikkhu Bodhisattva is the best one to understand Abhidhamma Saññā. But even this one, a little bit difficult, right? It is I think look at the simile is much better. It is confrontation with the object. Of course, it's confront with the object, right? The fight or advertence, of course, is how to say if the I consciousness is going to happen, right? Before that, he confronted with the object first. Then he opened the door. Then only I consciousness can be seen, right? Can be arising. Attention is like the radar or a ship. A radar or a ship which directs it to its destination, or like a charioteer who sends the well-trained horses, that is, the associated states, toward their destination, the object. Normally, a charioteer, right, who sends well-trained horses. That he went to go to Marina Bay, right? Marina Bay with the chariot, and he how to say, he trying to control, right? Control them to lead that direction. So just like that, so on the airplane, right? On the airplane, so people are watching movie and eating. Some are eating, but the pilot, attention please. He went to announce very important one, right? Then people keep attention. People who are eating, stop eating. People who are watching movie, stop watching movie. All their attention is to the pilot's announcement, right? Just like that. So attention is it lead to toward their destination. Manasikāra should be distinguished from vitakka. It's different from vitakka. While the former tense is concomitance, concomitant means mental factor, toward the object, the latter applying them onto the object. That means attention is a broader sense, right? So attention, suppose you are going to Marina Bay with the charioteer, right? With the chariot. So here from Mangala Vihara, forget about the chariot. Just let's talk about the car, right? You're driving a car, right? Driving a car. So from Mangala Vihara, you come from the car park and you go to the gate. So when you go to the gate, you turn to left, right? When you're going to Marina Bay, and you lead your car to that side, right? That is attention. But vitakka means when you are reaching Marina Bay, right? You're trying to lead to the direct way. That means attention is a broader sense, right? But they have the same, very similar function. Their function is leading to destination, right? And vitakka also, vitakka bring the mind to the object, right? Attention also bring the mind to the object, but attention is wider. The vitakka is more precise, right? More precise. Later I will show you with the example, right? So suppose the command, the Ministry or Defense Minister, Singapore Defense Minister, right? He trying to order to kill a robber in the sea, right? In the sea. Sorry? Pirates in the sea, right? So he ordered the general, commander-in-chief, right? To kill all the pirates. Then the commander-in-chief go to that direction, right? Actually, commanding to commander-in-chief is a cetanā. Then commander-in-chief go to that direction, that is attention, right? The vitakka make sure that not to move any direction, not to divert to any direction, right? The moment he left the shipyard, right? Shipyard. And the moment to go that place is called attention. But when they are nearer, the vitakka try to make sure that, right? The commander-in-chief make sure that they are going to that direction. That's vitakka, right? Vitakka. So therefore, attention and vitakka have the same, very similar functions, but attention is a broader sense. Manasikāra is indispensable cognitive factor present in all the state of consciousness, right? Consciousness. Vitakka is a specialized factor which is not indispensable to cognition. So the thing is, vitakka doesn't associate with the second, third, fourth, fifth jhana, but manasikāra associate with them. So therefore, manasikāra is wider. The vitakka is, so when we attain in second jhana, no vitakka at all, right? No only vitakka, just manasikāra, right? So now we have 7 universes. So these 7 universes associate with any type of cheta. When the consciousness arises, these 7 universes also arises, right? So therefore they are called universes. Any question? Okay. Delusion? Or you mean illusion? You mean wrong perception, right? What you mean, delusion or delusion is moha? You mean moha, right? Oh, of course, yes. The reason is moha is eradicated only by arahant. Even though you are anagami, you still have delusion regarding with certain type, right? Suppose even you become arahant, you still have attachment to fine material and immaterial jhana and their attainment, right? Actually, the fine material and immaterial jhana is still attachment, right? So the moment you have that attachment, that means you have a delusion. So only Arahant totally remove delusion, right? Okay. It can be both. The reason is we have 4 characteristics of mental factor, right? They arise together, cease together, they take the same object, the same base, right? So if we have a one-pointedness is a mental factor. At that time, we have a consciousness, together with the consciousness, right? Yeah. Because when we have a one type of mind, suppose unconsciousness, right? By that time, we have a 7 mental factor arises together. At least, any type of consciousness arises, these 7 mental factor arises together. So therefore, it is very difficult to understand for normal people. But this is a, we say that is the enlightened people. I think they will know it by that time. So according to Abhidhamma, even you have a unconsciousness, right? Unconsciousness. So unconsciousness, ear consciousness, then nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness. These 5 type of consciousness, 10 good and bad, the 10 type of consciousness associate only 7 mental factor, right? So they are the rudimentary level. Rudimentary level. So when we are receiving consciousness, more than 7, right? The mind is getting powerful. The investigation consciousness, more powerful, right? So therefore, at least when you have a one type of mind, it arises together with the 7, right? 7. So we contact, feeling. So even though in dependent originations we learn about because of 6 sense bases, we have a contact. Because of contact, feeling arises. So if we just look at that, the teaching, now you might have understanding that the fact only after PHASSA, only after contact, feeling arises. So according to Abhidhamma, not like this. The moment you have consciousness, you have a contact, feeling, perception, and volition, one-pointedness, and light faculty and attention. All these 7 together, right? According to Abhidhamma. If we learn this chapter up to the end, you will understand this one. Any question? Okay, so let's close our.
Yes.
We have one announcement. The Dharma Fellowship is organizing a Pindapata on National Day, 9th of August. Okay, Pindapata is the monk's practice of going out for alms. And as lay devotees, when they pass us, we just put the rice into the alms bowl. So Pindapata will start at 10:15. So those who are bringing dana food come by 9:30. Okay. And then 11 o'clock is the puja. After puja, we'll do food offerings to the venerables, followed by sharing of merits. Then lunch starts after that. So the details you can find on the notice board as well as our website. And this is a good opportunity to put into practice what we have learned So see you on that day, 9th of August. Thank you.
Yo vada tham pava romanu Jesu Saccā muni bhagava kata kichu paragato bala viriya samangi tam suga tam sarana tamupemi raga viraga manija masokam Dhamma saṅghātama patikulam madura mimam pagunam suvibatam Dhamma mimam saranatamupemi Yata chadina mahapalamahu Chatususu sisu purisa yugesu Atacha pugala dhamadasate Sanghamimang saranatamupemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Bhante. Good afternoon, everyone.